Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. In the universe, starships are the theme. So fleet. It's a starship theme. Scout ship period. At the lowest level of the structure. Even if a fleet was formed at that time. Not to mention whether anyone is willing to join. Even if you join, it is also impossible to receive good tasks. 80–90% of high-paying, high-quality tasks. All were released in fleet form. Only the fleet can pick it up. Either you join a certain fleet. Either build a fleet yourself. Lone wolf. It just doesn't work in the universe, even taking on tasks that are allowed to be taken by a single person. There will also be a large number of other starships accompanying them. You are weak. There is no advantage at all. Zian has been thinking about it before. Should he join a fleet or form his own fleet? Think about it. He doesn't think he's the kind of person who likes to take orders. He's better suited to be the one giving orders. Only in this way can there be greater room for display. This time it evolves into a frigate. Another voyage is about to take place. The formation of the fleet, then it's on the agenda. Once the fleet is formed, if nothing unexpected happens, this fleet will accompany him throughout his life. So when it comes to selecting team members, Zian will be cautious. And the time has come. Zian's fleet is not just starships. Maybe I'll buy 1 or 2 large cargo spaceships to make money from trade. Make money by doing trade. The risk is extremely high. If you escort others, if the spaceship and cargo are lost, it will be a loss. Not only was his spaceship lost, he also had to compensate for other people's goods, but relatively speaking, the benefits are also huge. Even if it is a small cargo spacecraft, as long as the goods are delivered safely. The remuneration starts at 50 million. Calculated based on distance, transportation volume, and value of goods, even making hundreds of millions in one trip is not difficult. After all, on Earth in the 21st century, the reward for a large cargo ship going out to sea is hundreds of millions? There's no danger yet. Well, there is danger, pirates. In short, trading is very profitable. Very, very profitable. Of course, this is not something to consider now. Whether we will engage in trade in the future is another matter. Maybe as the fleet develops, it may still be positioned only as a battle fleet. We'll talk about it then. After Meowth left, Zian pondered for a moment. Turn on the optical brain watch and make a communication voice call to Taimei. Taimei. The Titan clan is reborn and is powerful. Especially very good at defense. The formation of the fleet must include front row, middle row, back row, and even support. Taimei, she is very suitable for the front row of the fleet. In other words, the Titans are born to be in the front row. Because the defense is indeed quite high. Meow Xiaomi is an assault and is a support type. Its ultra-high flexibility determines its fighting style. Zian's words. He is freer, because he can block damage from the front. His brilliance, from the keel to the hull and armor, even at the same level, Taimei could not compare with him. He can also be used as an output. His output. No one can compare. It can also be used as a support like Meowth. With his dodge ability and combatability. More than Meow Meow. So let's talk. Zian positions himself as comprehensive. Wherever there is a need, he will appear. The communication language has just been connected. Zian said straight to the point, Taimei. I want to form a fleet, do you want to join? Zian asked, casually. Anyway, the opportunity was given to her. Can you catch it? It's up to her. Again. There are many people. There are also many Titans. Even without the Titans. There are many ethnic groups that are vassal to the human federation of the universe and are good at defense. As long as the fleet is attractive enough, there is no need to worry about no one joining. But apparently Taimei is willing. In other words, when Zian was looking for the hull of the Titan clan's Iron Overlord starship, she had already hinted at it. I heard Zian invited her. She was immediately surprised and said, "Yes. Of course I am willing to join. Besides, don't worry, we Titans are born warriors. I will obey any order you give unconditionally." Zian smiled with satisfaction. "That's good. I plan to sail far this time. We will set off the day after tomorrow. You only have 2 days to prepare today and tomorrow, is that okay?" Taimei immediately replied, "Of course, no problem. I can even go anytime. I'm planning to go out to do a mission today. Everything is ready." Zian smiled and said, "That's okay, that's it." After hanging up the communication, Zian first went to the official website of the Federation to register the fleet. Every fleet is officially certified and is quite formal and official. In the universe, the fleet is extremely valued. And fleet registration is quite simple. With personally identifiable information, you can create it at will. The name of the fleet. Zian had already thought about it. A very simple and straightforward name. Brilliant Fleet. It goes without saying the meaning of this fleet's name. First of all, he was named after the brilliant number. Secondly, his expectations for the brilliant fleet are the same as his expectations for the brilliant ship. He hoped that the dazzling fleet would be like the most powerful star in the universe. Brilliant and eye-catching. The brilliant fleet is formed. Sent messages to Miao, Xiaomi and Taimei respectively. Almost seconds later. On Zian's side, the 2 girls' applications for joining the team were received. I immediately chose to pass. After, Zian went to the forum of Shenzhou University again and posted a post. The brilliant fleet is established today and is recruiting team members. Restriction, female. Well, as for why women are restricted, the reason is simple. The 2 current members, Miao Xiaomi and Taimei, are both female. BB. The members who joined later are all girls. Is this person not sick again? No matter whether you think there is something wrong or not. Anyway, I think there's nothing wrong with it. Let boys join? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Don't even think about it. Once the post is posted, it immediately attracted the attention of countless students. Huh? Boss, Su is starting to build a fleet now? Brother Su is already the captain of the frigate. What's wrong with building a fleet? Damn it, I have to join this. Please, please. I want to join. Upstairs, didn't you see the restrictions at the back? Female restrictions. The brilliant fleet only recruits female members. Why? Mr. Su, I didn't realize you were such a person. Woo-woo. Discrimination. This is discrimination against men. Brother Su, please join me. I can dress up as a woman. These are non-nutritious contents. Zian glanced at it and stopped paying attention. Anyway, the post has been sent. As for whether anyone who satisfies me joins, it depends on fate. Of course it's good. None are suitable. The 3 of them can actually do it. Initial running in stage. The number of people in the fleet should not be too large. What's more, before Zian formed the brilliant fleet, he had already planned that the brilliant fleet was destined to be a super elite small or even ultra small fleet. People are more valuable than their essence, but what Zian didn't expect was, as soon as the message is sent out, what surprised him was that the first person to contact him was Huchichi. In fact, Zian never thought about recruiting those people from the special recruitment camp. Because Zian is the kind of person who knows that each of them has his eyes on the sky. Even if they join the fleet, these special recruits should form it themselves instead of joining themselves. HS. What Zian didn't even notice was that he had unintentionally All the pride of these special recruits was beaten to pieces. Don't talk about Hu Qiqi. The other two. Tu Jiu and Yu Xiao. Which of them dares to be arrogant? Which of them, come on, dares to think that they are so special and awesome while the rest of them are just noobs? No. No one dares to think so. Everyone was convinced. As soon as the communication is connected, Hu Qiqi's crunchy voice, with a hint of softness, came out from it. Su Zian, can I join your fleet? Su Zian thought for a moment and said, yes, yes. But I believe you also know that sometimes, joining a certain fleet is a lifelong matter. Leaving the fleet at will lower your credibility. So, are you sure? Hu Qiqi said without hesitation, I'm sure. Of course I'm sure. Join the fleet of a strong man like you, and follow an exorcist like you. I think that my future life will be very exciting and interesting. So, I do. Since everyone has said so. Of course Su Zian wouldn't say anything else. As for why we must obey orders, there is no need to say anything about it. Because everyone knows it. What if you don't listen? Very simple. Kicked out of the fleet is Ren. Okay, let's leave the day after tomorrow, this time it's the hospital flight. So, you have 2 days to prepare today and tomorrow. Get ready for a long voyage. Yeah. Got it, after. Many girls have applied to join the brilliant fleet. After Su Zian observed it, they all declined. Brilliant fleet. Currently there are 4 people, which is just fine. You are responsible for controlling the whole situation. Taimei is responsible for blocking and interception. Miao Xiaomi is responsible for interception and assault. Hu Qiqi is responsible for damage output. With the help of the 3 of them, we will encounter a slightly stronger enemy fleet in the future. Su Zian thinks that he will be much more relaxed. First of all, their strength is definitely one of the best among this freshman. Hu Qiqi is one of the top 3 experts in the special recruitment camp. Miao Xiaomi did not join the special recruitment camp because of something else, but her strength is no worse than that of the recruits. So many months have passed. Miao Xiaomi is already an 8th level reconnaissance ship, and will soon reach the 9th level. Taimei's words. She simply did not want to be a special admissions student, but joined the Chinese Academy of Sciences as the #1 scholar in her galaxy. The strength is not bad either, and it is already an 8th level reconnaissance ship. Hu Qiqi is now at the 9th level. Only 1 step away is the frigate. Seriously. It's really not bad. The affairs of the fleet are arranged. Next. Just buy a lot of supplies. In the universe, there are space relay stations, manned star systems, and even commercial rogue planets in many areas. But what if you go to an extremely remote area and need to stay in that area for a long time? Sufficient living supplies are necessary. The living supplies storage room of the Brilliance, enough to store basic supplies for a year. But 1 year is definitely not necessary. Su Zian plans to store it for half a year, and then make those supplies more abundant. Now that I have money, I can be a minister. Of course you have to be kind to yourself. Enjoy it when it's time to enjoy it. Same day. Su Zian went to buy various materials produced by large group companies. To eat, there are various meal packages. There are also toiletries, personal items, and more. Because the ones he bought were all very good, these supplies alone cost Su Zian a full 100,000 yuan. On the second day, Meowth is here. Also brought her plans. Su Zian also called Hu Qiqi and Taimei to the Bright Island. Let's discuss this voyage together. Now that they are all members of the team, Su Zian will naturally listen to their opinions. Bright Island, in front of the villa, in the pavilion, by the lake, several people drank ice-cold sparkling drinks while chatting. Su Zian on both sides. On the left is a little cat with baby fat cheeks. Those white fluffy cat ears paired with her very cute but always serious face are really beautiful. On the right side is Huchichi, who has a standard oval face and delicate facial features that are as beautiful as sculptures. In fact, just talking about the exquisiteness of the facial features, Fox Chichi belongs to the third year. But a woman's beauty is by no means just her facial features. Anyway, Miao Xiaomi, Huchichi, Haitang, Qing Fuyue, and even his second senior sister and fourth senior sister. These women are all equally matched. They are all beautiful and fragrant. What? You ask, is there another Taimei? DJB. Su Zian is definitely not short anymore. Fully 1.88 meters. Definitely the best height and body among humans in the universe. But compared with Taimei sitting right in front, Su Zian's height is really quite small. How to compare it? The basketball star of the 21st century, O'Neal, known as the basketball giant, B. Is it big enough? The bottle of mineral water in his hand was just like his wife's oral liquid. However, the opponent is only 2.16 meters tall and weighs about 150 kilograms. But Taimei. The height of 2.76 meters is only a little bit higher than the average height of 27 meters among the Titans. Weighs 340 kilograms. The muscles on the body are arched one by one, like solid hills. The palm as big as a cattail leaf fan was even as big as the upper bodies of the two women next to it. Those arms are equivalent to the thickness of the two women's bodies. It's a terrifying giant beast in human form. It's not hard to imagine. Her explosive power, strength, stamina, and ability to withstand blows are so tyrannical. There is no way, this is a racial talent, innate. In front of her, O'Neal was just a very slender man. So, why does this make Su Zian think she is beautiful? Even though there are indeed many non-orthodox human classmates in the school who think Taimei is beautiful, there are even many people pursuing her. Jab. Su Zian is an orthodox human race. I really can't appreciate it, especially the big grinning mouth. Su Zian doubted whether her mouth could swallow his own head. Of course. This is just her image and appearance. Actually, judging from current contacts, Taimei is a very straightforward and honest person, and he admires Su Zian very much. There are 3 of them. These are the first members of the brilliant fleet. They are also his first teammates and subordinates. They are also the first ones truly worthy of Su Zian's trust. Although this trust or not remains to be slowly observed and cultivated in the future. But in most cases, members of the same fleet have extremely deep feelings. The kind that can even shed blood for the other party. If not for such friendships and relationships, how could he possibly trust his opponent with his back in the future battle? Miao Xiaomi's slender white fingers clicked quickly on the side of her optical brain as if playing a piano. And her optical brain watch also projected a 3-dimensional virtual picture in front of several people. The picture is extremely realistic. There is a picture of a star map. There are also some introductions to tasks and so on. Miao Xiaomi's voice, which had a slight milky tone, said in a serious tone, I have planned a total of 3 mission routes this time. The first is that we join the merchant shipping fleet of Alan Technology Company as a fleet, go to the Bilan star system located 330 light-years away, pick up the mission from there, and go to. Miao Xiaomi introduced it in great detail. Not only the task route is introduced, but the information of the employers who issued the task is also clearly marked. After the introduction, she concluded, where's the first line? It's relatively safe. The reward is moderate, and it's a one-stop trip, not counting the possible battles that may occur along the way. We can make about $28 million in total. The risk is not very high. After hearing this summary, Su Zian gave up the route without even thinking about it. After half a year, the total income was only 28 million. This does not include the consumption of starships, etc. If another battle breaks out, the starship's losses will be even greater. Basically, everyone may not get more than 3 million in half a year. It seems like a lot. 4 people make 3 million in half a year. In fact, this price is for an ordinary fleet. It's rich enough. But for Zian, no interest at all. They are geniuses. They are elite. The genius elite fleet must do the tasks that only elite fleets can do. Miao Xiaomi continued to explain. What about the second line? Slightly better than the first one. The risk is greater and the reward is greater. Zian is still not very satisfied. What he considers is not just the reward. We also need to consider whether they can all make great progress in the past 6 months. For example, get enough evolution points. At least the 3 girls must be allowed to evolve into frigates, right? Otherwise, no matter how much money you make in the past 6 months, it will be a waste of time. The second risk is greater than the first. It is also very powerful and can really fight. Maybe they don't get much meat at all. Then comes the last one. Seeing the first 2 items, Su Liuan didn't show any expression. The corners of Miao Xiaomi's delicate lips raised with a hint of satisfaction. Obviously, Zian disdains the first 2 routes. She was very satisfied. Because she saw Zian's ambition and purpose. That's what she wants too. If Zian chooses the first 2, then she would quit without hesitation. Danger? Where is it not dangerous? If you're afraid of danger, don't become a starship captain. Just go and be an honest, ordinary person. After, she began to explain the third point. Really? Start with the first mission in this route. Zian's eyes lit up. Wait until you finish listening. Zian said without hesitation, it goes without saying. That's the route. That's it. It will indeed be a lot more dangerous. However, the possibility of earning a lot of evolution points is also greater. If you guys want to quit, that's okay. When a new team is established, there will be a 1-year running-in period ahead. Quitting within 1 year will not affect your credit score. Zian finished. The 3 of them looked at each other. They all shook their heads firmly. Zian smiled with satisfaction. Good. At least this courage, as well as this drive and ambition. He is worthy of being a member of his dazzling fleet. Send me this mission route and detailed missions. I go take appointments and plan my time. You guys, go and clean up now. After you finish cleaning up, go and rest. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The brilliant fleet. First expedition, the first task. It was picked up from school. It is a large company from the Earth Federation and a task issued by the Chinese Academy of Sciences. The requirement is a fleet that has reached bronze 1 star, 2 fleets reached the black iron 7 stars, and 5 black iron 6 star and below fleets. At present, the 1-star bronze fleet has been collected by a fleet formed by seniors in the school. The fleet of the black iron 7 stars also has another fleet to receive. For black iron 6 stars and below, 2 have received it. There are still places for 3 fleets. The so-called black iron and bronze fleets. It is the Space Human Federation that assigns a level to the fleet. This level. It is recognized by the Human Federation across the universe. Fleet level does not depend on how powerful the starships in your fleet are. Even if the Star Destroyer fleet is created for the first time, it is still a black iron star. Fleet level. It is based on each mission completed by the fleet and its contribution. Then the calculations are carried out through the total brain of the Universal Human Federation. How many points are given to increase? The score reaches that level. Then the fleet level and star rating will automatically increase. But if the mission fails, or the pirates hunt and escape, etc., the score will be automatically reduced. And the mission? It is spread throughout the entire universe and the Human Federation. No matter it is a task posted by an individual, or a mission issued by a certain force. As long as the task is registered, then they will all be counted by the Universal Human Federation. For example, the current mission was accepted from China Academy. It will also be included and counted as the fleet score. Fleet level. Divided into black iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, etc. There are more later, but just these previous levels. It is already beyond the reach of most fleets. And every level. There are 10 stars in total. The Brilliant Fleet is now a startup fleet. Therefore, it is the Black Iron 1-star fleet. Belongs to the lowest level fleet. The basic score for this task is 30 points. If there is a battle or other situation in the middle, additional points will be awarded based on the overall performance of the Brilliant Fleet. 1 to 2 stars, it's 100 points. Guess. Even if it's just a basic score. It's been half a year. As long as there are no escapes, mission failures, etc. Even the basic points are enough to raise the level of the Brilliant Fleet to 3-star, or even 4-star Black Iron. Think no more. Su Zian immediately accepted this task as the captain of the Brilliant Fleet. The mission time is 9 o'clock in the morning at the unified time of the human race in the universe. The timing is just right. After receiving the mission, I also received the details of the mission and the responsibilities required. Process Materials Group Escort Mission. Mission details: escort the Process Materials Group to transport a batch of materials to the Huiming star system 532 light-years away. Task responsibility: do all the obligations to protect the safety of the employer's caravan. Task reward: 30 basic points for the fleet, 1,800 points for the Chinese Academy. Above. That's all the information for this mission. It is not clear what materials are being shipped. But I guess it won't be cheap, otherwise, we wouldn't have hired so many fleets. There is also a bronze fleet among them. Although most fleets are not divided by the strength of fleet starships. But one thing is certain. The higher the fleet level, the stronger the starships in the fleet. Generally speaking, the bronze fleet all has destroyers. Of course, it's not necessarily certain. It may be composed of several assault ships. Anyway, the bronze fleet is no longer weak. After all, it is quite difficult to improve the fleet level. And 1,800 points is a lot. Divide between 4 people. Su Zian is the captain and has 600 points exclusively. The remaining 3 people each have 400 points. Quite a lot indeed. Especially since they were only the fleet of the Black Iron 1-star. The mission pays well. But the same. It will definitely be more dangerous. However, if you are lucky, you may not encounter pirate attacks during the whole journey. Su Zian. In fact, I was expecting pirates to attack. After receiving the mission. Just wait. Everything is settled now. He also said goodbye to Haitang and his mentor Zhan Wushuang. After they all told themselves to pay attention to safety and not to show off when something happened, nothing happened. The next day, early in the morning. Because this is my first voyage in my life. He Haitang's journey from the Milky Way galaxy to the Chinese Academy of Sciences does not count. And it didn't last that long. So Su Zian was quite excited. Men. How many people don't yearn for the vast starry sky? In the past, I really didn't have enough strength and could only wander around. Even if I follow Haitang, I don't dare to go too far. Now. The whole journey is more than 6,000 light-years. Of course, this includes all the round-trip distance in the future. If it's quick, it would be almost half a year. If there are a lot of battles in the mission, it may take more than half a year or even a year. The total number of tasks reached 13. On the way there this time, there were 7 tasks. The final destination is the mission 5,000 light-years away. It is a mine-guarding task. Keep it for a month. The rewards are very generous. But it is also the most dangerous mission of this trip. When Su Zian went out. Miao Xiaomi's Miao number, Fox Chi-Chi's Hell number, Taime's Boulder number. They are already waiting outside. See them, Zian smiled and said, "They are all very positive. There is still an hour and a half left." Hu Qiqi's soft voice sounded, "Isn't this the first time that we have sailed as a fleet member? So I was a little excited and didn't sleep all night." Taimei's hearty voice also said, "Haha, I thought I was the only one who didn't sleep well." As for Miao Xiaomi, she hummed softly. The hum made Zian confused. Is this little cat a humming monster? If something goes wrong, just say hum, that's crazy. Too lazy to pay attention to her. Drive the Brilliant and head towards the mission assembly point. Rally point. It was also in the familiar Yaoqi starport. Wait until they arrive. I happened to see that the fleet of the process materials group was ready to go. Asking for flowers. Only a few glances. The expressions of several people couldn't help but become solemn. Miao Xiaomi was the first to say, "Our Chinese star system is not the starting point." Hu Xiaoqi immediately agreed, "Definitely not, this fleet should have been attacked at least once before, then it was repaired in the Chinese star system." Taimei said nothing. Zian glanced at it and his expression became slightly serious. He said in a deep voice, "Then please be careful this time, I don't want our brilliant fleet to fail in its first mission." The children responded immediately, and their tone became much more solemn. At this time in the starport, although the process material group's caravan has been repaired, but even the girls could tell that they had suffered a serious attack. How could Zian, an evolutionist, not be able to tell? There are 3 medium and large cargo spacecrafts in total. Many areas of the home are newly sprayed. Then there are the remaining fleets, which are obviously not complete at first glance. There were only a few starships scattered around. Apparently a lot of starships were lost. But Zian didn't care either. Not a big enough danger. How could someone spend so much money to hire them? The fleet of Shenzhou Academy. That's very expensive. But there is one thing to say. Is the fleet price quoted by Shenzhou University expensive? But strength. But it is far beyond the ordinary fleet on the market. After mutually verifying the news, the brilliant fleet moved the starship aside and waited, and obviously, the appearance of the brilliant fleet also attracted the attention of this caravan. At this time, only the brilliant fleet of the Shenzhou Academy's fleet has arrived, and the rest have not yet arrived. So when I saw this dazzling fleet, there was only 1 frigate, and the other 3 were all reconnaissance ships. Everyone was a little stunned. The manager of this caravan, Manager Lin, was silent for a moment. Still kindly reminded, "Brilliant fleet, this escort mission is not low in risk. So I personally think it's better for you to reconsider this task. If you give up the mission, we will take the initiative and it will not affect your fleet's credibility score." Zian knew he meant well. But it's not dangerous, and he still won't accept it. No danger. Where can I go to get evolution value? So he smiled and said, "Thank you, Manager Lin. We know that this mission will not be easy, so we must be mentally prepared. Thanks for the reminder." Seeing that Zian didn't listen to the advice, Manager Lin shook his head and said no more. The tasks he issued are as long as the requirements are met, then anyone can accept them. Since this dazzling fleet accepted this mission and did not listen to his advice, then it would be hard for him to say anything more. The remaining escorting starships said nothing. It can be felt that perhaps because of the loss of their fleet members, the mood seems very low. Almost more than 40 minutes passed. The rest of the fleet arrived belatedly. Brilliant fleet? You also accepted this mission? A slightly surprised young voice. Death sounded over the communicator. Brilliant number, Zian. And the brilliant fleet created by Zian. Not just among freshmen. Among old students. Also extremely famous. After all, the act of instantly killing a first-tier assault ship with a first-tier frigate. It really made these old students stunned. They consider themselves. You absolutely can't do it yourself. At this time, he took the initiative to greet Zian. Not someone else. It's that bronze one-star fleet. Fleet of lances. Its captain, the Lance, is a Tier 9 assault ship. Extremely powerful. Apart from him, there are 7 team members in total. Among these 7 team members, except that there are only 2 Tier 9 frigates, the remaining 5 ships are all assault ships of different levels. The spear fleet is very powerful. Even Zian, who doesn't pay much attention to the affairs of his classmates, is quite familiar with the spear fleet. Zian also did not expect that the bronze one-star fleet that took on this mission this time would be the famous spear fleet of the school. It is said that in the Lance fleet, in the 2nd semester of next year, all fleet members will enter the assault ship level. After the captain enters the destroyer level, then he will apply to enter the inner courtyard, go to the 923 inner courtyard of Shenzhou University on the border, and join the battlefield. Zian responded with a smile, "Yeah, I didn't expect it to be your fleet. Then this time, we have to fight side by side, please take care of me." The spear captain smiled heartily and said, "Haha, of course. When circumstances permit, it is a must. You are the hope of the new class of our China Academy, so you must, at this time. The spear fleet is yours." "Huh? This is the Radiant fleet? Are you here too?" Another rather surprised female voice rang through their communicator. When seeing the dazzling fleet, the other party was obviously surprised. Immediately afterwards, several other fleets came one after another. And every fleet that comes over will express their surprise at the appearance of the brilliance. Especially when a fleet of black iron and 3 stars. This fleet has a total of 6 starships, all of which are frigates. When they came here, they saw Manhwa. There was even a hint of admiration in his tone. This is also normal. They are old students. Zian. Not only is he already a strong man at the same level, it can even kill an assault ship instantly. Although he is an old student, he has a lot of admiration for Zian. Even more, because only they can truly feel how awesome Manhwa is, and how awesome Zian is. Speaking of which, the reason why they chose this escort mission this time. In fact, it was because I was stimulated by Zian. Zian smiled in response. After more than 10 days, we are all comrades on the same front. It's absolutely right to have a good relationship now. This is also the benefit of coming from China University. At least everyone is united. Just like Zian just asked. He should be fine on his own. But I was afraid that when the 3 women were in danger, they would not be able to rescue them in time. But with these fleets, I believe they will come to the rescue as soon as possible if they can. There is no doubt about this. In the caravan, Manager Lin listened to the chat of several people, and the rest of the caravan listened to the chat of these geniuses from the Chinese university. Everyone looked at the brilliant fleet and the brilliant ship with stunned expressions. So, in fact, this brilliant fleet turns out to be a big boss? Even if he is not a big boss, his strength should not be bad. This can be seen in the attitude of these fleets towards the fleet. Even if they are classmates from the same school, the difference in strength is there. To make this fleet of spears so warm and affectionate, that can only mean that this dazzling fleet must be very awesome. Manager Lin said he was very happy. Since he is really awesome, then there is no need to worry about him not knowing anything and just running to do tasks and die. Everyone has arrived. He immediately said, "Everyone is here, it's not too late, let's set off now." He is the employer, so no one has any objection. They responded one after another. At the same time, on everyone's starship, they all received the top-secret route from Manager Lin. Air route. There are countless kinds. Good luck. There is not a single danger encountered on this route. Bad luck. So this channel route. It's all dangerous along the way. It just depends on luck. The caravan begins to leave the port. The spear fleet is the strongest. Naturally, he took the lead and led the way. The other two fleets of the Black Iron Seven Stars were escorting the caravan at the rear. The remaining fleets are on the left and right sides, including the remaining starships. Among the remaining starships, there are 2 assault ships and 3 frigates. The strength is not bad either. But it seems that they do not belong to the same fleet, but to 3 different fleets. One can imagine, on the way here, the caravan encountered a brutal attack. It is estimated that the mortality rate should be no less than 70%. This is interstellar life. This is the age of interstellar navigation. Although there is the pursuit of eternal life, he also possesses unparalleled power. Living resources and material resources are extremely abundant. You can also wander in the vast sea of stars and appreciate the endless scenery. But the same thing. Along with it, there is blood and death. Death is the most common theme of this era. Every day, countless people will die, countless people will be born, countless people will become captains, and embark on this eternal road with no end in sight. Zian is also one of them. Even if he has adventures that others don't have. But you only live once. Zian is also cautious. Perhaps. When will I evolve into a cruiser? Only then can we truly fly freely in the territory of the Earth Federation. But that's just the Earth Federation area. After the caravan is launched, Zian had an idea. Controlling the little wife Brilliance, which has been parked in an area nearly a light year away, the route was synchronized to the little wife Brilliance. Both sides will always keep an equal distance and move forward. At the same time, this interstellar voyage, if nothing unexpected happens, the little wife's brilliant number will be his own pathfinder. 2. Don't expect it to kill an assault ship instantly. But in fact, it was because the other party was careless. Although even if the opponent is not careless, he can still kill the opponent. But after all, his strength is still not strong enough. Therefore, you must be careful and careful. There is a little wife, the brilliant number, exploring the way ahead. Turn on the detection radar to maximum power. If under such circumstances, the enemy is still not found, they are still attacked by the enemy. That can only be said. There is no other way, just do it hard and it's over. Soon, the caravan started pulse transition at the same time. Because the minimum pulse transition distance must be taken into account. Therefore, the pulse transition distance this time was adjusted to 1.1 light-years simultaneously. Start the jump directly, the little wife's brilliant number. It also started to jump in that direction. After the big wife's brilliant number entered the transition state, Zian was surprised to find out, even when both of them enter the transition state at the same time, it seems that the existence and status of the 2 brilliant ships can still be clearly sensed. He can consume 100 wealth points at any time to jump to another brilliant ship. This is great. Because in the universe, danger does not just come from enemy starships. There are also various spatial turbulence and other situations. Because of the fighting, space turbulence was created, and the starship entered it and completely lost its direction, or there are too many situations where it is directly shattered by space turbulence. There will even be random spatial turbulence. Even during the pulse transition, there may be a small probability of space confusion, entering space turbulence, etc. This is usually the case. The probability of survival is less than 90%. Of course, the occurrence of space turbulence is very rare, and those who can break out the space turbulence due to fighting, that's at least Star Destroyer level. Even if a starship of that level enters space turbulence, it will at best be completely lost inside. 0.9 I'm lucky to be back. Bad luck. Just until death. But it's fine now. I am the same as myself, even if I unfortunately fall into the turbulence of space. Don't worry too much. Just enough wealth. No matter where. The system can jump back for itself. This is very impressive. Smile softly. Think no more. A trace of mental power was released to control the little wife's brilliant horn. At the same time, he was observing the situation over there. The rest of the energy. After taking a third-grade skeleton grass, then turn on the optical brain watch. Started studying. The experience of going out to experience. This tempering and learning. Nor can it be left behind. Try to come back in 6 months or even a year. Own. He came back as an intermediate frigate captain or even a high-level frigate captain. And 2 brilliant ships. They are all pink and of perfect quality. It's wonderful to think about it. Present. Got a bottle of ice-cold sparkling drink. While drinking. While studying. Sailing as well. The excitement of the brilliant and the brilliant fleet, also from this moment. Officially begin, so when a fleet faces an evenly matched enemy, the best way is to focus fire and drill through the attack regardless of its own losses. Zian's voice sounded in the communicator of several members of the brilliant fleet. At the same time, this is also the fleet combat method most recommended by the teachers. It has been verified by the blood and fire of countless ancestors. Only with this kind of fighting method can we defeat the opponent as much as possible and protect ourselves as much as possible. Miao Xiaomi, Hu Qiqi, and Taimei listened attentively. Today, it was already the 7th day since their departure. The first few days. Because everyone is a classmate of Shenzhou University, we can occasionally chat with each other. But as time went by, no one was interested in chatting anymore. How can there be so much to talk about? Then Taimei took the lead. Let the few of them discuss the fleet's combat methods. It started with discussion. But as Zian talked, it became Zian teaching them. They said they were really depressed. It doesn't matter if Zian is strong. The key is theoretical knowledge, which is far behind them. Gap. It's really too big. Hashtag. Now Zian is their captain. Hence the teachings of Zian. They listened carefully. Zian is also willing to teach them what he knows. After all, when teaching them, I am also consolidating my knowledge. What's more, during this lonely interstellar voyage, Eleven's ears are always filled with the arrogant voice of Miao Xiaomi and the gentle voice of Fox Qiqi. It makes you feel good to hear it. Huh? Taimei? Stop it. Her voice is more manly than mine. In fact, Zian taught these things. Most of them come from the way of fighting between yourself and your virtual teammates in the Star Wars simulation. A small part comes from the teaching in the school, and then he himself confirms and fits with the Star Wars simulation. This led to the current fleet combat concept. After narrating for a while, Zian stretched his waist and said, "Jump forward 2 more times and you will enter the empty area. I'll prepare some dishes then. By the way, what do you want to eat for dinner? Except for hot pot. Hot pot is served every day these days, and I almost vomit. The so-called empty areas in the universe. It means that within a certain diameter range, there is nothing. Not even a single meteorite. In this case, there is basically no chance of being ambushed. Take advantage of this time to get together or something. For example, come and have a meal at Zian's brilliant no. Zian brought good daily necessities when he went out this time. Among them, hot pot accounts for a lot. For example, Zian likes the hot pot produced by Heidaleo Catering Group even more. But what Zian didn't expect was that the 3 women also liked this type of shabu-shabu hot pot very much. Good guy, we have hot pot every day these days. And for the animals unique to the earth. Panda has a soft spot for it. In this day and age, pandas have long been overrun. It is no longer a national treasure. How about, we eat hot pot and you eat something else? Hu Qiqi's charming voice said with a smile. Zian. Impressed. Isn't this hot pot something you won't get tired of eating? Just when I was about to say something else, Zian suddenly felt something in his heart, and his expression instantly became solemn. Without saying a word, he immediately focused all his attention on the little wife Brilliance, who was exploring the way ahead. After sensing it, he immediately jumped over without hesitation. 100 wealth points were consumed, and Zian appeared in the cockpit of the little wife Brilliance. As soon as he jumped over, DDDD. Information has been detected and the target has not been identified. 99% of them are expected to be interstellar pirates. Accompanied by light brain reminders, Zian looked towards the area displayed by the detection radar. I saw that many starships marked in red had been scanned in the detection radar. There are more than 30 starships, and they are all hidden on the back of an abandoned planet nearby, clearly preparing for an ambush. And the ambush target? Needless to say, it must be them. This is not yet an empty space in the universe, so there are not only abandoned planets, but also many meteorite belts. No doubt, this group of interstellar pirates must have placed a mini detection radar in a certain area where they came. After detecting traces of their fleet, then conduct an ambush at the location of the pulse jump, that is to say, as long as they make a pulse transition. When we came out, we happened to be here. He also happened to fall into their ambush circle. This is also the ambush method commonly used by interstellar pirates. Perhaps it's because the Brilliance's stealth function is too powerful. Or maybe they discovered the little wife's brilliant account, but had no intention of taking action. It would be a surprise, but they are waiting for the caravan to appear here. So the Brilliance appeared for a while. They remained unmoved. Zian carefully observed the information displayed by the detection radar. There are more than 30 ships that can be detected. And there must be some that have not been detected. According to the level of the Brilliant detection radar, what the Brilliance cannot detect is basically the advanced assault ship moving up. Even destroyer level. That means this gang of pirates. At least they are all medium-sized pirate gangs. Think for a moment. Just over there with the big wife's brilliant ship, it was about to enter the pulse transition state. Zian jumped back quickly. Then he immediately opened the entire communication channel and said immediately, "Wait." The caravans and fleets that were preparing for the pulse jump immediately stopped their jump after hearing this. Manager Lin hurriedly asked, "Huikanho, what happened? Did you find anything?" Manager Lin's tone was a little nervous. The captain of the lance also immediately asked, "What's wrong?" The rest of the people were waiting for Zian's answer. Zian said in a deep voice, "I have a very bad feeling. I have a hunch that our pulse jump is very likely to be attacked. And I have experienced many battles, but without exception, my premonitions were accurate and saved me more than once. So I really trust my hunch." At the same time, just before the previous two pulse transitions, when we passed through a meteorite field, I seemed to vaguely see traces of detection radar. But I hid it and didn't pay much attention at the time. Now I suddenly have a strong premonition, and I am suddenly sure that it is the detection of Thunder Sky. So, I think we should strengthen our alert and prepare for battle. These words. Of course it was Zian who was talking nonsense. However, although he knew that he was talking nonsense, but these people don't know, because Zian's nonsense is based on evidence and is not made up out of thin air. Sure enough, Zian's words made everyone surprised. But no one doubted the authenticity of the words. Because in the universe, those who fight and fight all year round will actually have this kind of premonition. And the premonition is still very strong. This kind of thing has been exposed more than once. Some of them even had such a premonition and saved themselves. He pondered for a moment. The captain of the lance suggested in a deep voice, "It doesn't matter whether the Brilliance's premonition is accurate or not. I think we should be more vigilant. Even if the premonition is wrong, we have nothing to lose. So I suggest that this time our jump distance should be reduced by 0.03 light-years again. We will fly directly over this 977.03 light-year distance. After all, when interstellar pirates ambush, they will accurately calculate the precise landing point of the target's jump. As long as we don't enter their landing range, it's hard to say who will ambush whom. The words of the captain of the Lance were unanimously agreed by everyone. Only Manager Lin smiled bitterly and said, "Captain Long Chong, I think it would be better if we just take a detour. After all, we don't know each other's fighting power." Before the captain of the Lance could speak, another fleet captain immediately said, "Manager Lin, I believe you also understand that for those of us doing escort missions, the reward is not particularly important to us. What we value more is to gain a lot of evolution value while earning rewards. Of course, we won't rush forward foolishly. Following the advice of the captain of the Lance, we will send a few starships with the best stealth performance to sneak over. If the opponent is not strong, we will take over. If the opponent is too strong, we will run away. After all, you can rest assured that you won't ignore the caravan in order to gain evolutionary points. Besides, none of us want to die." Manager Lin smiled helplessly and said, "Okay, I agree with your plan. I think 0.03 light-years is a bit too little. How about reducing it to about d.05 light-years?" The captain of the Lance said with a smile, 0.03 light-years is really enough. Unless the opponent is a cruiser. But I think the possibility is not high. If it increases to 0.05 light-years, it will take too long to sail. The other party will definitely become suspicious by then, and it is not suitable for us to counter-ambush. Manager Lin thought for a while. This seems to be the case. There was no objection immediately. Agreed with everyone's plan. Suddenly, the entire caravan began to move. Set the jump distance. Jump in that direction. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. Anyway, it depends on the situation. We are all our own people, there is no need to cause conflicts over a few starships. The captain of the Lance smiled and said, "This is natural." He immediately joked, "Brilliant, if your fleet can capture that destroyer. Actually, our spear fleet is also very happy." Zian coughed lightly, "We'll talk about that later. Everyone laughed. The nervousness was relieved a little. After, everyone discussed the battle plan in detail. They are all top students from Shenzhou University and have learned how to command operations. Therefore, everyone's combat plan was quickly unified. Immediately. No more hesitation. The fleet attacks. In the dazzling fleet, Zian took the lead. Following closely behind is Time's the Rock. Behind them is the starship of Miao Xiaomi and Hu Qiqi. Hu Qiqi's howl must be the main output force in the back row. Her howl does much more damage than Miao Xiaomi and Time. 5 times faster than light speed, move forward. Zian issued the order. Yes. Good, new. The 3 women responded in unison. 5 times the speed of light is the speed limit that the 3 women can reach. It's also thanks to the fact that their starship engines are not bad and of high quality. Otherwise, it would be 2 or 3 times as much. And other people's fleets are faster. After all, the level is there. It lasted about 50 minutes. Suddenly, I could already see the fire ahead. The long spear and the others are already facing the enemy. However, the situation does not seem so optimistic. Not to mention being at a disadvantage, but it definitely didn't gain the upper hand. Zian immediately said, "I will take the first step. You follow me closely. Remember, don't go to other people's routes, otherwise if you encounter danger, I won't be able to rescue you in time. Besides, you must not separate. The 3 of you fight as a team." After the 3 women responded and expressed their understanding, Zian no longer hesitated. Increase the speed of the brilliance to the maximum. He took the lead in targeting one of the 2 assault ships that was jointly attacking one's own assault ships, bravely launched an attack. The other party obviously did not expect that this frigate would dare to attack him. Originally, they planned to cooperate to take down the assault ship first, 0.03 light-years. For the distance scale of light years, it is still extremely far away. To know, the diameter of the solar system is only 0.003 light years. And 0.03 light years, if it travels at the speed of light, it will take 6 hours. Of course, their fleets are all capable of flying multiple times faster than the speed of light. It takes at most an hour to detect the target location clearly. Come out of the transition state. The captain of a high-level assault ship in the Spear fleet volunteered, "I'll go. My detection radar, stealth device, and painting are all red and of excellent quality. This person should be a reconnaissance type in the Spear fleet." Naturally, everyone had no objection. Although Zian's brilliant number is also red and of excellent quality. But, after all, it is a frigate level, which is one level behind. It certainly cannot be compared with the excellent quality of this red one. As for red excellence, they are real geniuses. And geniuses like them. In fact, only certain parts will evolve to red excellent quality. The remaining parts are still only blue and rare. Even lower, not like Zian. It is 100% red and of excellent quality, and when it comes to the second-tier frigate, some pink parts of perfect quality must be used. This gap has been widened. Everyone is waiting here. This person went to investigate. About 50 minutes or so. His voice suddenly sounded in everyone's communicator. "Enemy found. Enemy found. It is currently confirmed that the enemy is a medium-sized star pirate group headed by a low-level destroyer. The target fleet has a total of 44 starships. 32 of them are biological starships, 12 support mechanical starships." His report. Let everyone cheer up. The captain of the lance shouted loudly, "Beautiful. Well done. Brilliant number, it is indeed you. Your premonition is really incredible. And your insight is worthy of being a man on the notice. Are you sure you understand the detection?" The other party immediately replied, "Make sure the detection is clear. Unless the other party has a cruiser hidden in the dark." The captain of the lance suddenly laughed and said, "Cruiser? Don't be ridiculous." At this time, Manager Lin looked very worried and said, "The other party has destroyers. Should we be unstable?" The captain of the lance said with a smile, "Manager Lin, don't worry. Although we don't have destroyers here, but believe me, we are from China Academy." When saying this, the captain of the lance revealed a strong sense of confidence in his tone. Manager Lin smiled with relief and said, "Blame me. Blame me. I'm so nervous. I've forgotten that you are the geniuses of China Academy. Okay, you go. Our caravan is here waiting for your triumphant return. Until then." Manager Lin suddenly woke up. "Yes. What are you worried about? These people are not the people I hired when I went to the Chinese star system before. These people, then all of them are the elites among the elites. Do you really think that the title of #1 Star Wars Academy in China was earned for nothing? If you have to compare interstellar pirates and ordinary captains to militiamen. So these geniuses from China University. It is the frontline field army in the regular army. There is a huge gap between the two sides. Those pirates are also a bunch of rabble. After all, if it is not a mob, how could he possibly become a pirate? Think of this." Manager Lin felt relieved instantly. He was also too worried and nervous. As a result, I forgot about it. After obtaining permission from the employer, no one hesitated anymore. The captains of several fleets began to discuss specific action plans. The captain of the lance said bluntly, "Our lance fleet, as the vanguard, leaves the destroyer to us. Of course we will decide which area to target based on the situation." Another captain of the Black Iron 7-star fleet said, "Leave half of the assault ships to us." Just when another captain of the Black Iron 7-star fleet wanted to speak, Zian hurriedly said, "No. Everyone. Leave me 1 or 2 assault ships. We don't need too many brilliant fleets, just 2 low-level assault ships and 3 low-level frigates. How about the remaining reconnaissance ships, depending on their abilities? 2 low-level assault ships. It's what Zian wants. The 3 low-level frigates are reserved for the 3 women. If they use high-level reconnaissance ships, they can't even defeat a pirate's low-level frigate. Then Zian can only mean, after this time, let's all go our separate ways. Brilliant fleet, no. Everyone laughed, and one of them laughed and said, I forgot that the brilliants can instantly kill an assault ship. Okay, I agree. Actually, it's really difficult for us to eat so many assault ships. Isn't this mainly to delay you for a while? But since this frigate is looking for death, let's kill him first. Immediately turn the bow of the ship and get ready. His bow had just turned around. They haven't even launched an attack on the brilliants yet. Several consecutive rounds of shells actually directly opened a gap in his energy shield. He was so frightened that he trembled all over and hurriedly fought back and started to dodge. B. The bow of the ship has been turned around, exposing the front of the cockpit to Zian. How could Zian let him avoid it? They didn't even look at the opponent's shells. Accurate shooting. Cannonballs are like having eyes. The gap in the opponent's energy shield was torn even wider. The third time. In the other party's frightened eyes. A pulse-penetrating round. 10 rounds of high-explosive rounds for the secondary battery. Take it away immediately. The whole money process. There are 3 rounds in total. No more than 30 seconds. An enemy assault ship was captured by Songtian. It was resolved without any trouble. The captains on both sides gasped when they saw the scene. The captain of the lance swallowed a mouthful of saliva and roared, "Brilliant, you are really a devil." Here he is. 3 assault ships. The captain is an enemy assault ship. They are still evenly matched. Such a comparison. It can be seen how obvious the difference is. Even the remaining geniuses from the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Let's not talk about 1v2. 1v1, at the same level. It's just to suppress the pirates on the opposite side. And not like Zian. Forget about skipping a level. 3 rounds and 30 seconds to kill an assault ship, and the brilliant number. As if he had done something insignificant. Continue to kill towards the second assault ship. Behind. The 3 daughters of the brilliant fleet. Seeing such brave Sujiji. It's like taking a shot of chicken blood. One by one, they bravely killed Kezi's enemies. The first battle of the brilliant fleet, this devil fleet that will shock the entire universe in the future and make the Inhumans and Bug Humans fearful. Officially kicked off, when the other party is on guard. Zian's attack on the assault ship will not be so easy. Especially seeing that Zian is ridiculously powerful. 2 frigates came immediately to help. #F#. Zian today. You are not alone. I'll be in front, you fight. In the communicator, Taimei said angrily. Then she drove her boulder directly towards the 2 frigates. Give Zian a 1v1 opportunity. The 2 women behind him followed suit. The meow meow is like a super-sensitive cat, darting left and right to hit the enemy. Hu Chi is even simpler, suspended directly in place. With full force. Hu Chi's starship. It is a standard fire attack ship. In other words, it is a fire coverage ship. You can imagine that her starship is only at the level of a reconnaissance ship. Is it actually equipped with a honeycomb missile cluster launcher? Hive missile cluster launcher. It is different from that big missile. To put it more simply, the rocket launcher type is more suitable. Very small. But it's still a missile and can track automatically. As long as a bomb can be guided automatically, it is a missile, and don't look at it because it's small. That is so powerful. The warheads are all ultra-miniature bullets. Extremely powerful. Of course the shortcomings are also very obvious. Relies heavily on the quality of the starship's locking radar. The locking radar cannot lock the opponent's starship, which is equivalent to being blind. Secondly, the ammunition load is very small. A Hive launcher can only launch up to 14 micromissiles at a time. Then you can reload ammunition once. The firepower of a total of 28 micromissiles. Very powerful, but very few in number. But now for fire coverage. There is no doubt that there is no problem. Secondly, Hu Chi-Chi's HAL number 110. In addition to the Hive missile cluster launcher, the main gun is a rapid-fire high-explosive warhead. The shooting speed is extremely fast, and its main focus is fire coverage. The same goes for the secondary battery. Adopting a powerful wheel type. It is a wheel-type weapon similar to Gatling. In addition, its caliber is very large, and it also uses high-explosive bombs. That guy, that firepower. An absolute super turret, unimaginable. She has a lot of firepower. Lung was relying on his own strength. Lung Xingxing beat the opponent's entire 2 frigates so hard that they couldn't even lift their heads. Actually, seriously. Even to others. Under the same circumstances, very few people can do it. Because no one else can be as precise and rhythmic as Hu Chi-Chi. She timed every shot and every ammunition replenishment of her starship with extreme precision. So much so that it seemed like her firepower was always covered without any gaps. This is the strength that exists at the top level among special admission students. Use the scout ship to overwhelm the 2 frigates. The difference between top talent and the rabble. At the same time, Hu Chi-Chi was able to cover the place with fire without any distractions. Also thanks to Taimei. Su Zian is in the fight. Special attention was also paid to Taimei. Then he said, very satisfied. Seriously. As expected of the Titans. He deserves to be one of the top geniuses. Her boulder stopped there. Stop in front of Hu Chi-Chi. Not even a single cannonball hit behind him. It's like a shield. All damage was intercepted. The energy shield of her boulder is larger than that of ordinary people. Of course, this is just the basics, nothing to say. But the air defense system on her monolith is so mind-numbing. Someone else's air defense system. It's just anti-aircraft guns. And there won't be too many. Because more space is needed to install other weapons, etc. What about her? No secondary guns? Yes. The boulder has no secondary guns. There will be a main gun. The rest are all anti-aircraft weapons. There were so many anti-aircraft weapons that Su Zian even suspected that she didn't even have much storage space. First is the anti-aircraft gun. 30 doors. Yes. You heard that right. 30 anti-aircraft guns. Because the size of anti-aircraft guns is much smaller than ordinary offensive weapons. Therefore, 30 anti-aircraft guns can be installed. Under the barrage of 30 anti-aircraft guns, not to mention the opponent's missiles, rockets, and the like. Even the shells of the opponent's main and secondary guns can be shot down. Secondly, there are 3 locking radars. And her locking radars are all defensive locking radars. What is a defensive lock-on radar? This means that it is not mainly about locking enemy starships. It is specifically used to lock onto enemy shells and missiles. Besides, then there is the energy weapon interception system. What photon cannon, plasma cannon, ion cannon, particle cannon, etc.? The first is the various anti-energy weapon obstacles launched by the obstacle device. This kind of obstacle has extremely high temperature resistance. Then there is the chaotic magnetic field inside, which can consume a large amount of energy from energy weapons. As long as it's not a very powerful energy weapon. Basically, it can consume a large amount of energy. The small amount of energy that remains, only then will they attack the extremely thick energy shield of the boulder. Then he was easily blocked. Even if it occasionally breaks a hole in her energy shield, that's fine. Because you still have to think about how to penetrate the hull ship core armor of the boulder. Yes. They're starships, including the Brilliance. The first is the hull. The hull does not have very high defense capability. So hull armor is used. That is, the outside of the ship is covered with a layer of armor. In this way, it will have good defensive capabilities, but it's definitely not strong enough. Hence, BBFB, there is core armor. Core armor is the most powerful type of armor. However, it is impossible to achieve full ship coverage. Just because the core armor has super strong defense, it is also super thick. It will greatly occupy the usable area inside the ship. At least, Zian would never do that kind of thing. But what about the boulder? Full ship core armor. Zian even suspected that her core armor was also covered with a layer of ordinary armor. Finally comes the hull. That is to say, the basic defense of the monolith. Its energy shield, core armor, ordinary armor, and hull. 4 levels of defense. Didn't you see that the photon cannon of one of the frigates hit the hull of the boulder, leaving just a small dent? Outrageous. That's outrageous. This is the boulder. Block forward. It is completely possible for Huchichi to achieve crazy output. Where is the last meow meow number? Just like an assassin. Out of nowhere, I hit you hard on the forehead. However, it is difficult for you to hit someone because they are fast and agile. How do you hit them? FFLX. Now the 2 frigates on the opposite side are the thief Gil, who is feeling uncomfortable. Go hit meow meow, it's hard to hit. He also had to endure Huchichi's crazy firepower coverage, and it was impossible to deal with the meow meow wholeheartedly. This makes it harder to hit. Leave me alone, Meow Xiaomi, and go fight Fox Chi-Chi. First of all, the shells can't be hit at all. Secondly, the cat is harassing you. If you don't pay attention, it may hit you hard and severely cripple your energy shield. Ignore Meow Xiaomi and Hu Chi-Chi, concentrate on killing Taimei first. B. This Titan is simply an invulnerable devil, damn, there's no one like you. Full ship core armor coverage? The most outrageous thing is, when they concentrated their firepower, they finally broke through the outermost core armor of the boulder. Just discovered. The layer inside is not ordinary armor at all, but it is still core armor. The captains of the 2 frigates collapsed immediately. Beat it up. Do not fight. Say nothing. Turn around and run. These 3 monsters, fight whoever you love. 2. When they turned around, they suddenly discovered it. That assault ship, killed by the brilliant number in a duel. Then the brilliant number aimed the muzzle at them. This moment, their scalps were numb and their whole bodies were cold. In fact, they can see it. These 4 starships belong to one fleet. FFLX. They just wanted to know. What kind of monster fleet is this? Are all the people in this fleet monsters? When their scalps are numb, the muzzle of the brilliant flames have been emitted. But this time, Zian didn't hit their core or kill them instantly. Because Zian, it is planned to combine these 2 starships. Give it to the 3 girls. No other reason. First of all, he had just harvested all the evolution values of the 2 assault ships. Already extremely rich. Secondly, the performance of the 3 women just now. Zian is 10,000 satisfied. He has decided. As long as there is no problem with the character and morality of the 3 women, he plans to train them well. This time, it is the first battle without any adjustment. The cooperation can be so tacit. Let yourself concentrate on dealing with that assault ship, and without any worries. Once the 3 girls are cultivated. Unimaginable. Future. How much does it help you? It's even harder to imagine. His own dazzling fleet. How ferocious it would be, the battle between the 3 women against the 2 frigates just now. Zian watched the whole process. Have to say. He was also amazed. Even, he thought. 2 more frigates. Maybe all 3 women can stop it. This is important. This means 3 girls. Really very strong, very very strong. It will be of great help to you. See them fighting. Zian even feels like playing games in the 21st century. Time is a superhuman shield. Hu Chi is a violent mage. Miao Miao is a highly explosive and sensitive assassin. M2. It is super top combat power. The kind that is specifically responsible for dealing with enemies. If 4 people cooperate, Zian thinks, they can even fight against the pirate group that has the highest combat power of assault ships and a total of more than 10 or 20 starships. In fact, we met this pirate group today. It already belongs to an above-average pirate group. A normal mid-level pirate group. At most 2 assault ships. Then 5 or 6 frigates, several reconnaissance ships and mechanical starships. If Zian is a person, it's impossible to beat it. The reason why I was able to easily win when I rescued Miao Miao that day. First of all, the opponent only has 1 assault ship. After killing him instantly, he caused great psychological pressure on the other party. Secondly, it is on the outskirts of the Shenzhou star system, and there may be support at any time. They simply didn't dare to fight anymore. This allowed Zian to defeat it easily. I really want to fight, Zian. Even if you can beat it. Not unscathed either. Therefore, after confirming the true combat effectiveness of the 3 women, Zian is determined to train them well. Such as these 2 frigates. Give it to them. The situation on the battlefield is still quite tense now. I'll kill one of the 2 assault ships later. More profitable. I believe that these seniors shouldn't argue with a junior of mine, right? Certainly not. They are grand, I say they are grand, they are just cool. Thinking like this in my mind. The battle is not slow. After Zian joined, the 2 frigates were already somewhat unbearable. It suddenly collapsed. But Zian never thought about killing them, but after beating them to death, immediately shouted in the private channel of their brilliant fleet, give these 2 frigates to Hu Chi. We'll look for an opportunity to grab it later. Oh no, we'll look for an opportunity to help the seniors. Remember, we are here to help. We are not trying to steal monsters. The 3 women looked dumbfounded. Immediately they all laughed. Hu Chi-Chi's charming voice was filled with endless excitement, and she loudly said, "Thank you, Captain. Captain, you are so kind. Captain, I love you so much." The charming voice said these words, which made Zian's heart flutter. As for Taimei and Miao Xiaomi, I don't have any opinions. They are already teammates. In the future, there will definitely be that kind of intimate relationship. It doesn't matter who you give it to. Since Zian said so, they just have to obey orders. Before joining the brilliant fleet, one thing had already been determined. Zian, the captain, must obey the orders absolutely and unconditionally. This is the basis of the fleet. Meowth's attack stopped. Hu Chi-Chi's attack became even more ferocious. Plus Zian is helping, just over a minute. These 2 frigates were easily taken over by Hu Chi-Chi. Marvelous. Hu Chi-Chi's extremely excited voice sounded. Zian smiled slightly, then swept his eyes across the audience. He immediately said in a deep voice, "Follow me, and remember to obey my orders." Immediately, he drove the brilliant and rushed towards the battlefield on the side of one of the Black Iron 7-star fleets. In the whole field, only the fleet of the Black Iron 7 stars faced the most enemies. Basically in a 1v2 situation. Best for robbing. Bah, best for helping. No one has arrived yet. Zian's voice came through the communicator. "Captain Wang. Don't panic. Don't panic. Our brilliant fleet is here to help you." "Oh, Senior Jean, give me one of the assault ships." You deal with the other one. Captain Wang. Senior Jean, no. No need. I can do it myself. Zian immediately said anxiously, what can you do? I know you can do it, but if you take down these 2 assault ships by yourself, your starship will also be seriously injured. Unless you are willing to use evolution points to repair it, but are you willing? We still have 7 days of journey ahead. What if we encounter the enemy again? Senior Jean opened his mouth and thought carefully. It seems that this is really the case. But just giving up an assault ship for nothing, In the end, he could only say with a blushing face, then you can't steal my intermediate assault ship, this is mine. That low-level assault ship belongs to you, or I will fight you. Zian quickly said righteously, Senior Jean, no, Jean sure, what are you talking about? What does robbery mean? I'm here to help you. Let you stay in better condition and face the enemies you encounter on the road. Senior Jean sighed speechlessly, okay, stop talking, just take it and take it. Zian immediately laughed and said, oh, thank you, my brother Jean. Even though he was driving the Brilliant, he was like the wind and used a junior assault ship that knew nothing about the other party to kill him. While in the past, Zian's voice kept ringing in everyone's communicator. The boulder, the meow, the howling. What are you 3 still doing? I haven't seen Sister Jiang and brother by being in 1v2. Go help, don't let them suffer too much damage. It will be very dangerous if they encounter enemies later. Look, they haven't been defeated for so long, so it must be difficult to achieve 1v2. We are all classmates, go and help. Sister Jiang and brother Bai heard what Zian said. Everyone was stunned for a moment. No. We really don't need it. Dre. Zian even said the phrase I haven't beaten him for so long. For a while, they couldn't even find anything to say to refute the terrifying combat effectiveness of the Brilliant fleet just now. They all see it, seriously. 1 counts as 1. Everyone was shocked. The 3 girls are actually pretty good. Still within the scope of their understanding. Because the 3 women are all at the level of top geniuses, maybe a little bit higher. But also at the level of top talent. But Zian. It's just a little too powerful. 2 assault ships and 2 frigates. Easily solved by others. You can't let people watch the battle, right? Who told them not to resolve the battle so quickly? 1v2, you don't agree if someone wants to help. This is really unjustifiable, after all, on the battlefield. It doesn't mean that if you hit the enemy's starship, then that starship will completely belong to you. That's bullshit. Only the starship you are fighting 1v1 with can't be snatched by others. In a 1v2 situation, even if someone robs one of your ships, you can't say that they are the one who robbed you. Have the ability to deal with one of them as soon as possible. Therefore, Liaoan said this. In fact, everyone can only smile bitterly. Asking for flowers. What else can be said? Work harder, but don't let Zulian snatch it away again. The eyes of the 3 women were all bright and sharp. They didn't expect it. Case Fleet. Zian is mixed up. It feels so good. Soon he was back in the fight. And Zian made such a fuss. Everyone was deeply afraid that Zian would come again and take away their food. That's quite exciting. It can be said that you have used your own strength to the extreme. For a while, one enemy starship after another was destroyed. These pirates, seeing that the situation was not good, wanted to escape. But it's very obvious. It's too late. This group of pirates is really crying. They really didn't expect it. This group of people will be so brave and powerful. They knew immediately. This time I have provoked a truly strong person. Zian sighed. After spending some time, another assault ship was solved. His eyes swept over. No more helping. People need to be satisfied. Grab it again. That's a little too much. Maybe they won't say anything about themselves. But there will definitely be a nod in my heart. There is no need to offend people, because of these evolutionary values. 0. With the current strength of the brilliant fleet, no longer afraid of difficulty in obtaining evolution points. Next. Zian easily helped the 3 women take down the remaining 2 frigates. Miao Xiaomi and Taimei shared a boat. Immediately afterwards, he took them with him to kill 4 reconnaissance ships. This time I really went to help. The ones with black iron 6 stars and below are not just the brilliant fleet. And these 6-star and below fleets. But it is far from as powerful as the brilliant fleet. It's really difficult. So the brilliant fleet came to help. They couldn't wait to do it, just 4 scout ships. There is no need to say that. Easy to solve. Same. Meowth and Taimei were still divided into 2 boats. Zian didn't ask for it anymore. Because he harvested 3 assault ships. I no longer look down on this evolutionary value. A few minutes later, accompanied by a loud boom, the last destroyer. He was also killed by the spear squad. And after reaching the destroyer level, for enemy ships that are jointly killed by the fleet, the evolution value is no longer obtained solely by the person who destroyed them last. Instead, these evolutionary values are divided among the fleet members based on their contributions. Because of the enemy starship, Tian reached the destroyer level. Creatures can become extremely powerful and violent. After the starship is destroyed, the biological energy will escape. These biological energy will be automatically converted into evolution values, and then evenly distributed to the captains of nearby starships that have attacked. Beyond this distance, the evolution value will not be your share. This is why, at the reconnaissance ship, frigate, and assault ship levels, this is why if someone else helps you fight a starship, your evolution value will become very low. At the reconnaissance ship, frigate, and assault ship levels, the biological energy has not yet reached the level where it can be dissipated enough and classified into evolutionary values. However, a lot of bioenergy has been dispersed by other people. Those dispersed bioenergy cannot be condensed into evolutionary values and distributed equally. Therefore, the number of evolution values will eventually become very small. That is to say, Lance fleet this time, the harvest is also very great. Just such a destroyer. Let them make a lot of money, and the rest of the people also made a lot of money. Not to mention the brilliant fleet. So rich. This time, absolutely everyone is happy. At least. The 3 girls are Fox Chi-Chi, Miao Xiaomi, and Taimei. Staying in the private communication channel. Let out a silly laugh. The harvest this time is huge. Because of the extreme success of the counter-ambush. Not even one of our own starships was lost. But he ate such a medium-sized interstellar pirate. Not to mention the large amount of evolution value. Those parts alone can be sold for a lot of money. Others don't know. Anyway, those 3 assault ships were killed by Zian. Its parts are extremely well preserved. He earned at least 18 million. After all, the parts of the assault ship. Even if the quality is not that good, it is still second-hand. But the level is here, that's not bad. In fact, because part of it has reached green quality, there is even one component that has reached blue rare quality. So the estimated value is at least 18 million. But what Zian didn't expect was, someone has already contacted him and wants to buy parts from him. This is not the captain of the 8th level frigate of a black iron 7-star fleet. Then he smiled and came over and said, Zian? Zian looked at him and smiled. What's wrong, Brother Chen? Brother Chen waved his hands repeatedly. Oh, I don't dare to take it seriously, just call me by my name. I don't dare to call you 330 Brother Chen. Zian smiled and said, you are my senior, so there is nothing wrong with calling you Brother Chen. We are all classmates, and we don't want to judge our abilities. Brother Chen's words to Su Zian seemed to be quite useful. No more ink marks, he said bluntly, then what? I'm not going to evolve into an assault ship. It happens to be short of a few high-quality engines for assault ships. The hyperdrive of my starship also happens to be of excellent quality. They are all of excellent quality. If the quality is transferred, I think it will be very good. So. Su Zian immediately understood, so you want to buy these engines? No problem. Of course Su Zian would not refuse. The other party immediately smiled and said, that's a good relationship, so I won't have to find a new one. Brand new, green, high-quality engines for assault ships are too expensive, and second-generation ones are hard to find. Don't worry, I will definitely give you the market price and I will never let you suffer a loss. Su Zian immediately said, little things, small things. Then just take these engines. The other party nodded repeatedly, okay. Give me your account number and I will transfer the money to you directly. The market price of a second-hand unit is 1.8 million. There are 4 units here. I'll transfer you 7.2 million, right? Su Zian said, yes. 7 million is enough, not 7.2 million. As he spoke, he reported his account number. The other party waved his hand, no, it's as much as you want. How can I, a senior, take advantage of you? That's it. Almost as soon as he finished speaking, there was an extra 7.2 million yuan of universe coins in Su Zian's account. Su Zian was cheerful. No one wants the rest. But it doesn't matter. My own brilliant account is currently enough to carry so many things. Just take it and sell it when the time comes. Over there with the 3 girls. Also searching happily. The things they obtained could not be sold for too high a price. But it's not bad, 1.8 million is definitely no problem. The main reason is that they can't kill their opponents like Su Zian, so they damage a lot of things. The battlefield has been cleaned. It happened that Manager Lin's caravan also came over. When he learned that his side had won, Manager Lin rushed over immediately. Seeing the pirate starship that was smashed into pieces, Manager Lin couldn't help but give a thumbs up. Regardless of whether Su Zian could see it or not, he praised it, brilliant number. Thanks to you this time. If your premonition hadn't been so accurate, maybe we would have suffered some losses. This time, I'll give you a heads up. We'll communicate with your school. The so-called first note record. It must be to increase the remuneration for Su Zian and the others. The caravans outside have to pay to hire students from China University. It's just giving money to the school, and then the school will convert the money into points at a ratio of 10,000 to 1, which will be used as the students' compensation. The school can get some money back, but it is definitely more cost-effective for the students. Because points are definitely more cost-effective than giving money directly. Really? About half an hour later. It is displayed on the optical brainwatch. For this mission, they can do it based on 1800 points, get an additional 500 points as a reward. In terms of money, it's 5 million. Manager Lin is indeed not stingy. 5 million. It's not a small amount. At least for the Black Iron 1-star fleet. The 3 girls were even happier. This moment. They were suddenly extremely happy that they had joined Su Zian's dazzling fleet. Take a look. It's just the first mission. You will get a lot of evolution points. Lots of points. There are also 1.8 million spare parts that serve as supplements. This is compared to how much they earned from doing tasks by themselves before. Su Zian was also quite happy. This is the benefit of the fleet. With a fleet, only then can you take on tasks with high rewards and high risks. This time he gained, arguably the biggest. 3 assault ships provided him with more than 5,000 evolution points. What is this concept? This concept is Su Zian now. As long as the creature is at full value, then you can evolve the brilliance to the 4th level frigate level at any time. Or 2 ships together. Some of the parts are of perfect quality. This is the benefit of leapfrog single kill. The evolution value is much more than those of the same level or lower level. Fleet. Set sail again. It was still the little wife, the brilliant number, exploring the way ahead. The three girls were chatting enthusiastically about their harvest. Zian also spoke at this time. This time, you performed very well. Zian praised, to be honest, your performance exceeded my expectations. Meow Xiaomi's familiar hum voice full of arrogance came over again, humph, of course. It's because I met a pervert like you that my little cat seems to be weak. But I, meow meow, am the absolute top genius, okay. Hu Qiqi also chuckled softly and said, Xiaomi's strength is indeed very strong. Xiaomi's strength also shocked me. Seriously, if you are also recruiting. Then there are no 3 geniuses from special admissions, but 5 geniuses from special admissions. Taimei laughed innocently at this moment and said, what about Zian? If he enters the special recruitment camp, will he be one of the top 6 geniuses? Hu Qiqi's slightly content expression suddenly froze. After a while, Tuan pouted and said, he. Okay, I admit it. If he is also in the special recruitment camp. That special recruitment camp only has 1 genius. Zian laughed, okay, stop boasting. Since your performance this time, I am very satisfied. Then, I also want to tell you my real plan. Zian's voice became serious. When the 3 girls heard what Zian said, they immediately stopped joking and listened with serious expressions. After this time, although they didn't say it, but actually, in my heart, I am totally convinced by Zian. No. More than convinced. It's even worship, even a very arrogant meow meow. Even the very proud Hu Qiqi. Even the very confident Taimei. They all admire Zian. Even if you don't want to admit it with your mouth, in your heart. He sincerely recognized Zian as captain, their captain. Zian was observing and testing them. Are they not observing and testing Zian? Although the relationship is between the captain and the team members, this relationship has always been a two-way street. Only in this way can we encourage and grow each other. Finally, thanks to their efforts, the name of the dazzling fleet includes the names of each of them. They will all shine in the universe. Needless to say, Zian's strength. Later, Zian specifically asked them to collect the evolution values of 4 entire frigates. Logically speaking, even if the frigate's evolution value is 1.9, even if Captain Zian takes it all, they can't say anything. Their level should be used to obtain the evolution value of the scout ship. But Zian took the initiative to help them obtain the evolution values of 4 frigates. Later, I gained the evolution value of several scout ships for Taimei and Meow Meow. They know. This is because Zian sincerely treats them as his own and cultivates them. Such a generous captain. And the strength is so strong. Stell. What's the reason for not being convinced? Not worshipping? Oh yes. Zian looks so handsome. Zian naturally didn't know what the 3 women were thinking. Now that their strength has been recognized. And in my previous arrangements, they carried out their orders unconditionally. At present, it seems that there is no problem. In that case, then cultivate it carefully. Be your own good helper. And 3 women. They all listened carefully. This moment, they are against Zian. Unconditional trust. Also looking forward to it. What kind of plan will Zian give to the brilliant fleet? Miss you. It will definitely be exciting. See the 3 women listening. Zian said bluntly, from the beginning when I created the brilliant fleet, I set a goal for myself. The brilliant fleet is just like its name. Like the brightest star in the universe, shining in the entire universe. I'll tell you the truth. Although I have accepted you this time, in my heart, you are only temporary. I do not really regard you as a member of the brilliant fleet. But your performance today makes me very satisfied, very, very satisfied. So, I decided, I will train you carefully so that you can truly become one of the most powerful people in the universe. Join me and shine in this vast universe. Let all ethnic groups just look up to you. The three women's breathing became slightly heavier. But neither spoke. Waiting for Zian's next post. They know. Zian has such ambition, then. He should also have the ambition to match. Really? Finish this sentence. Zian smiled softly and suddenly asked, I think you should know something. Each level is not just 9 levels. Actually, there is a 10th level. I think you should know that, right? Miao Xiaomi was the first to answer, I know. But level 10 is too difficult to achieve. The lower the level, the slower the cultivation. Besides, the improvement between the 9th level and the 10th level is not very significant. Because the 9th level is enough to support the maximum length, width and height. But it's not necessary. I know, but few people will. Huh? Wait. 11 You won't. As he spoke, Miao Xiaomi's tone became shocked. Fox Chi-Chi and Taimei obviously also thought of this. In the projected video, the three women looked at Zian in disbelief. Zian smiled slightly and nodded calmly, that's right. I am the 10th level reconnaissance ship, the evolved frigate. Since you have already practiced, of course you must reach the limit at every level. Otherwise, what kind of super genius is he? And as far as I know, in the universe, not to mention our Earth Federation is relatively remote after all. But in the universe, there are those who are truly the top monster-level geniuses. 9 out of 10, they are all at the peak of evolution to the next level. The children looked at each other. His eyes were full of shock. When they first entered school, they are all only at level 7, because Chi-Chi was specially trained in the special recruitment camp, and because his cultivation talent was really strong, he reached the 8th level soon after. But how long has it been since school started? Almost half a year. Especially Chi-Chi, including the time in the special recruitment camp, she has been there for nearly a year. 1 year, from the 7th level to the current 9th level. Calculating it like this, is it fast? Miao Xiaomi and Taimei did not go to the special recruitment camp. So in half a year, it's just from the 7th level to the 8th level. Calculate it this way. Chi-Chi went from level 9 to level 10, if it weren't for this battle. She needs at least half a year. At least half a year. Then go from level 10 to frigate. It also takes at least half a year. An extra year and a half for nothing. In the past 6 months, it was even enough for her classmates who were not as good as her before to enter the frigate level first. Just for the extra 160 points of bioenergy is not cost-effective at all. Zian is a tier 10 to tier 1 frigate, then is cultivation speed. Thinking of this, the three women couldn't help but take a breath. Zian smiled slightly. Said, don't be surprised yet. Because I can guarantee you that. Start by joining my dazzling fleet. Your cultivation speed is destined not to be slow. Every time you fight, you get more than just evolution points. Every insight gained in battle can speed up your cultivation. I don't know if you have reached the full value yet. But I estimate that after this fierce battle, your cultivation speed will definitely speed up. When this escort mission ends, it will definitely reach full value. Am I right? The three women nodded in unison. Indeed. Fighting. It's not just about getting evolution points. The insights from each battle, as well as the evolutionary values that can be transformed into some enemy ship creatures. In fact, it can speed up your own cultivation. Although only briefly. However, as long as you keep fighting regularly, your cultivation speed will never slow down. This is why everyone in Shenzhou Academy yearns for the inner courtyard, because there are often wars in the inner court. Likewise, this is why the Star Wars Department of China University ranks first every year. Because of their years of war, their cultivation speed is always one step, or even several steps faster than others. Zian continued, and what I want to say is, brilliant fleet, there will be countless wars to fight in the future. Your cultivation speed is unstoppable, your evolution value is indispensable. In this case, I ask you now. Give them all to me to reach the peak of the 10th level, and then evolve to the next level. Don't think that just a 160-point difference means it's unnecessary. What if it is the peak evolution every time in the future? Have you ever thought about how many more evolution points you will have than others? The three women looked at each other. They all understand the truth. They have never joined the brilliant fleet before. But there is no doubt that Zian's words, they were completely impressed. It also completely moved their hearts. Zian, on the other hand, continued, this is the first point. Second point, all your cash will be used to purchase heavenly materials and earthly treasures that speed up cultivation and increase biological energy. I have channels that can help you get natural materials and treasures that are much cheaper than those on the market. Secondly, your points value. Then keep them all and don't want them. You need your points to purchase parts, metals, and materials for starship evolution, and pay me as a reward, and I will help you tailor-make your own starship. Oh, you probably don't know much about my evolutionary strength, right? It doesn't matter, I'll show you, let you see why I arranged this for you. Finished. Zian directly contributed the complete data of his brilliant account to them. And three women. Just a glance. It's really just a glance. I was stunned. Just the overall quality of the brilliant number made them stunned. Activated three major characteristics, 100% overall red excellent quality. Let's look at the rest of the attributes of the brilliant number. They were horrified, incredulous, then silent, and finally numb. Wait until you finish reading. All the numbness turned into endless desire, and two beautiful faces and a face full of flesh lifted up and looked at Zian. Miao Xiaomi could no longer maintain her arrogance and shouted loudly, Zian, help me evolve. Hu Qiqi's eyes were even more confused, Dad. Zian was caught off guard by the shout of Dad, which made him tremble and look at Hu Qiqi in shock. Hu Qiqi's pretty face was slightly red, but she didn't hesitate at all. Her eyes were full of desire. I'll give you my wailing number. Zian nodded silently. From the corner of his eye, he suddenly caught sight of Taimei, who seemed to be about to say something shocking. He immediately turned his head and glared at her. You dare to call me that word, don't expect me to evolve for you. Taimei immediately held back the words she was about to blurt out. He said aggrievedly, then, brother? Help me evolve. I want to build a frigate with the most powerful defense in the universe. Zian nodded. Brother, this is good, I can accept it. The joke was over. Zian smiled and said, okay, you don't have to do this. I said, from now on, we can be said to be the people with the closest relationship. So, if you don't tell me, I will also evolve your starship. Also let me tell you, 150 red excellence is not my limit. So, practice hard. Also, when you have free time, come and study hard for me. Don't fall behind in the school's combat class. By the way, you also have to make money and earn points. After all, I don't evolve for you for free. And it's going to be expensive. What's more, you have to take a lot of medicinal materials, although these medicinal materials are much cheaper than the market price. But it won't be particularly cheap. For example, for a first-grade medicinal material, I will charge you 50 points per plant, or 500,000 points per plant. Isn't that expensive? Second grade, 2 million. Third grade, 5 million. So, make good money. A devilish smile appeared on Zian's face. Of course it's not okay to lose money. But making them a lot of money, of course, doesn't exist. If we can't afford it, why play? So, this price is just right. You can earn it yourself. It can also squeeze them so much that they have to work harder. Hiss, saying this, it seems that I am a little too evil-hearted? But Zian doesn't think there's anything wrong with this. After all, I set the price myself. I don't know how many times cheaper than the price outside. Speaking of which. In fact, both parties have earned their blood. Not to mention. Only in this way. Only then will they work harder and improve themselves. Maybe someday. They stand at the pinnacle of the universe, tell them the truth yourself. They will definitely thank themselves. Thank you for squeezing them. Because of the current oppression on them. It is leading them to eternal life. Anyway. Zian would never admit that he was exploiting them. Whether you believe it or not. I am Zian. They are definitely not that kind of people. A handsome man like me. How could you have bad thoughts? Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.